Welcome to Canine Handler Fitness. This is a podcast for dog sport handlers who want to feel strong, capable, and confident in their bodies. Hi, my name's Liz Joyce. I am a strength and conditioning coach, and I specialize in fitness for agility and dog sport performance. In this podcast, we cover everything you need: strength, speed, mobility, and endurance. All the things to keep you moving, performing, and doing what you love, both in and out of the ring. Let's dive into today's episode. Howdy y'all, and welcome back. Today we are talking about something that I suspect a lot of handlers and a lot of humans are experiencing, if not right now, very soon. And it's the summer schedule blowing up. A lot of people head into summer with awesome intentions, and they even think ahead and make a plan. And maybe they're gonna work out a few times a week and train the dogs and garden. Or if you're like me, just entirely landscape your whole yard. Why not? Why not install mature trees? Oh my gosh. And then travel, go to trials, see your friends, right? Maybe you've got some house projects you're gonna do while the weather's nice. You can get organized, right? Spring cleaning, who does that? We're doing summer cleaning. Spend a little more time outside, a little more patio time, a little more friend time. And somehow all of that stuff is supposed to fit into one summer, which in a lot of places of the world is like 3 months. That's like enough time to have an amazing time, but it's not a ton of time, right? And then all of a sudden June happened, and then July happened, or maybe August happened, and all of a sudden you're wondering where all your time went. And if that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. I think a lot of us lie to ourselves in the springtime, and I, for one, am a person that is chronically optimistic. I am chronically optimistic about what it is that I can accomplish in a short amount of time. And every spring, people can become just like really optimistic, wildly optimistic. The days are getting a little longer, and people look at the longer days and think, I'm getting extra time. I got some extra time. You're not, okay? What we do is find more ways to fill it, because summer creates opportunities, and opportunities are awesome and they're wonderful, and they also compete for your time. More trials, more travel, more camping, more visitors, more yard work, more landscaping, more projects, more social events, more everything. And the challenge becomes not motivation, but it's that your life suddenly looks different. Summer for sure is a period of time that, especially in Canada, it kind of feels like that fleeting moment that we all just want to grasp onto and just soak it into our veins, so it at least lasts until November, where we can dream about those July long nights again. But you know, it's a real challenge to maintain what it is that we want to do for our fitness during this brief period of bliss. We're going to talk about why routines have such a very hard time in the summer, because one of the strongest predictors of exercise adherence is having a routine. We tend to do things when they happen in predictable environments and also with predictable schedules. Winter is amazing for that. It provides so much structure. People go to work, they come home, they got regular evenings, regular weekends, and then summer introduces a lot of variability, and variability is where habits often struggle. It happens a lot that people miss one workout because of a trial, and then maybe another one because they're traveling there, and then maybe a third one because family's visiting, and then all of a sudden 2 weeks have passed, and it's, again, not because you don't care, but because life has changed. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. They miss a few workouts, and then they immediately decide that they're off track. Oh, I have to start again. I fell off the wagon. I'm so bad at this. This always happens to me. If it always happens to you, that is a really good thing, because you know that it's a pattern. And when you can see that it's a pattern, you can be smart about it and make a plan so that it doesn't happen. But when people do decide that they're off track, and then they wait for things to settle down for them to be able to get back on the wagon. And the problem is that summer rarely ever settles down. There's always another weekend, another trip, another commitment, another friend from out of town, another reason to wait. And before long, summer will arrive, and where you're at is trying to rebuild habits that disappeared months ago. And while this doesn't happen to me in a fitness realm, I do experience this in other areas of my life, and it is so demotivating to be making progress and then doing a really great job and then get kind of sidelined with summer or work projects or whatever it is that you've got going on, to return to the thing that you were really excited about before and realize that maybe you've lost some of the fluency. Maybe it's a little bit harder than it was before. All these things can feel very demotivating. And if it isn't a very strong habit for you, I want you to really be careful about this and really put some time in to make sure that you're setting yourself up with a plan. Because this is what successful handlers do differently. And we're talking about the handlers who stay active during the summer, aren't always and aren't necessarily the most motivated, but what they are the most adaptable. These humans stop asking, how do I maintain my winter routine? They might not even think about it like a winter routine. They might just be thinking about, how do I maintain my routine? What they start asking themselves is, what fits my life right now? And that is a way better question, because the details matter less than maintaining connection to this habit. And over time, your ability to do chunks of things, even when life is chaotic, is going to pay off in dividends for you. And I promise you that. Let's talk about staying connected to the habit, staying connected to fitness, staying connected, and listen to this, to the promise that you made yourself that you were going to do better for your body, that you were going to do better for your dog, that you were going to do better for your family, that you were going to feel better, you were going to feel better about how you looked, you're going to feel better about how you performed, you're going to be able to do more things. Saying those promises to yourself and keeping them is huge in terms of how you feel in your body day to day. And as a fitness coach, as someone who works with people, this is something that is just so critically important. And we talk about this a lot. This is, to me, one of the very most important concepts in fitness. And it is just staying connected. Sometimes that looks like maximizing, but not necessarily. And sometimes that looks like optimizing, but not necessarily. Sometimes it looks like absolutely crushing it, but again, not necessarily. The most important thing is that you just stay connected, because habits are always way easier to maintain than they are to rebuild. So if you can keep one foot in the door all summer, you are in a completely different position when fall arrives. And this is why I absolutely love that our app has an express workout section where you can choose between 5 and 10 minute workouts and 10 to 15 minute workouts and 15 to 20 minute workouts. Y'all, tell me you don't have 10 minutes, and I will tell you that you definitely do. I think many of us underestimate how much energy life outside of fitness requires. If you're moving, maybe you've got renos, dogs, family, travel, training, work, right? All of these things consume resources. And I'm not talking about finances, although it's definitely a part of it. They do consume resources in terms of energy, in terms of our time, right? And pretending that they don't doesn't help you out. And the goal here isn't for you to ignore the reality of that. The goal here is to build a version of fitness that can survive reality. To be honest with you, summer's coming up, right? We get rain in Vancouver for like 6 months. I'm gonna say 6 months straight because it really does feel like that when it comes to be like March. But in the summertime, we have this amazing, no rain, beautiful, no cloud in the sky weather. I build fall through spring, and in summer, I maintain and prioritize getting fitness done outside where I can enjoy the weather. And that looks like heavier, harder workouts, fall through spring. And then when summer comes, I don't mean that I do less, I just have a little more lenience. So here's a thought that I've got, right? Like, what if summer wasn't your season for massive fitness gains? What if fall through spring was? What if it was your season for maintaining momentum or protecting habits or doing enough to stay connected? I think a lot of people would feel far less stressed if they gave themselves permission to pursue consistency instead of perfection. And on the flip of that, because that wouldn't work for me as a human, I want to be moving forward. So what I do when it's getting to be summer, or what I do when I know my life is going to be chaotic, is I go, okay, and I'm always a fan of working out before work. There's a before work club in our app where we check in. Hey, I had my protein shake before work. Hey, I had my walk up the hills with my dog before work. Hey, I did my weight workout before work. These things are important. Why? Because it gets it off the table. It's done. You don't need to make a decision about it. You don't need to deal with heat fatigue. And during the summer, all of these other things that we just were talking about, all the summer bliss, the summer fun stuff happens not at 6:30 in the morning. But those barbells are going to be crying for their mama when I'm in there at 6:30 in the morning, because that's when I get it done. So for me, instead of thinking about scheduling and it changing and adapting my routine, I always just do it first thing in the morning so it's out of the way. And then I can always be working towards making fitness progress, because that for me as a human is important to me. And it might not be as important to you. And all of that is okay. So if your summer schedule, you're looking ahead at it and you think it's going to blow up, or your previous summer schedules have just blown up, I want you to know that you're probably not failing, but what you are doing is just experiencing summer. And the solution here is to adapt or to plan ahead by working out first thing in the morning when you're dealing with less heat and you got less stuff going on. What if you have to walk dogs, right? What do you do then? Because I'm also in that situation. My dog Levi does not do heat at all. He does not do heat at all. So in the summertime, I actually get up a little bit earlier and take him for a walk. And instead of doing fun stuff in the yard, I normally train my dogs in the morning, okay? So when it's kind of shitty out, we train in the morning. That's our routine. I have my coffee, we do our training. In the summertime, I take my coffee on the road, we go for a walk, and we do our training indoors where the weather's a little bit, better. But the time that I allocate to that is the same. So I get up and take my coffee on a walk with my dog where he can tolerate the heat, and then I go to the gym or I work out at home. And then in the winter, I will train him and then I go to the gym. So something like that might work for you too. But again, the solution is just to adapt. And if you notice, if you think about the chunks of time, time blocks, that time in the morning for me, the blocks are the same. It's just the activity shifted a bit. So my routine, well, it's changed a bit because I'm walking instead of training, hasn't changed that much. And that might be something that works really great for you too. The most important thing here though, y'all, is keeping this habit alive, because the people who feel best in September aren't always the people who trained the hardest all summer. And they're usually the people who never fully disconnected from the process. And that is really, really important. All right. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks so much for being here with me today and choosing to spend this time investing in yourself. I hope you feel encouraged to take action. Even the smallest steps forward will add up in ways you cannot even imagine yet. If this episode gave you something to think about or lifted you up, please share it with a friend. You really never know who might need these tools today. For more information, practical tools, and resources to help you get stronger and confident both in and out of the ring, head on over to caninehandlerfitness.com. You can also find me on all the socials under the same name, so come on over and say hi. I'm here to help you build the skills, knowledge, and belief you need to reach your goals. Keep going, keep learning, and most of all, keep showing up for yourself. You've got this, and I'll be here cheering for you every step of the way.